Good morning, this is Ron here again. I'm often asked, because people are curious, what is progesterone? Because women think it's a woman's hormone, and guys think it's a woman's hormone. So, what's progesterone? Well, let me tell you, progesterone is not a sex hormone. I want to tell you that. Progesterone is not a sex hormone. Let me give you an example of that. In order for you to become pregnant, when the follicle produces an egg, and what's left is called a corpus luteum, and that's a yellow body. That egg comes out, and then what happens, the corpus luteum produces progesterone. And that progesterone is necessary for the egg to become fertilized and for the baby to grow inside the uterus. Now, in order for that to be maintained over the whole 9 months, you have to have higher and higher doses of progesterone, which the body makes. So you cannot become and stay pregnant if you don't have progesterone. So it is not a sex hormone. It does not confer any sexual characteristics to the baby at all. So you have baby boys growing up in a sea of progesterone, and you have baby girls growing in a sea of progesterone. So it's not that. So get that out of your brain if that's, if that's there. Now, what does progesterone do? How does it balance hormones? Well, it doesn't necessarily balance hormones, but it's part of the hormone, what we call just a hormone complex. Whether you have estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, pregnenolone, DHEA, androstenedione, androstenediol, those kinds are all steroid hormones. But progesterone plays an important part in that. And you have progesterone being made into the other hormones. If you have progesterone there, then you'll have the other hormones. And if you have progesterone, you'll stay pregnant and you'll have a very high IQ baby. So we think most women are progesterone deficient. Now, there's a relationship between estrogen and progesterone in the body. Now, you'll go to your doctor and he'll say, well, I'm going to measure your estrogen to see if you're estrogen dominant. You don't need to do that. What we know, most of us that do this can look at somebody and listen to you and determine whether you're estrogen dominant. Now, estrogen dominant can mean one of two things. It can mean too much estrogen with reference to your progesterone, or it can be too much progesterone with reference to what you have available, or it can be just the opposite of that. But you don't have to have too much estrogen. All you have to have is no progesterone. So just not having enough progesterone will make you estrogen dominant. And you may not have much at all, but you can become estrogen dominant because you don't have enough progesterone to balance that. This great little chart right here comes from a book called What Your Doctor May Not Tell You About Breast Cancer by Dr. John Lee and Dr. David Zava. This is a great book. And in that book is this particular chart on the effects of estrogen and how progesterone balances that in your body. If you want to know more about it, this other book by Dr. Lee called Progesterone, Simply That, this is a great resource for you. Great resource, and you can learn a lot about that. You can reach me at Ron's Nutrition, and also at the bottom of the page you can do what? Like us. Okay. Now we'll be doing others of these, and I think next week we're going to be doing one on some metabolism and excretion of the hormones and why it's important to understand that you should not use synthetic hormones. Okay, thanks guys.